Okay, so we have Will Smart, clearly not just smart by name, but very smart by nature. Very high achieving a family. It's amazing. Who knew? But we have him on stage. I'm going to ask to join him as well. 3 more winners from the Sunshine Coast 2017 Business Awards. We have Kendall Morton from a business called Home Care Assistance. Take out your phones and like these businesses on Facebook page as I mention them. Kendall Morton, Home Care Assistance. She is our first to join Will Smart. Will Shrapnel from Helimods. I always just think, what an amazing surname for what you do, Will. You know, Steven Spielberg could not have written that script better. Will Shrapnel from Helimods. Helimods merged 2 words together, helicopter modification. Very clever. That is what they do, Helimods. They were the, as we heard Mike say before, the 2017 Sunshine Coast Business of the Year. And we also have the Sunshine Coast's latest movie star, business TV star, in the form of Mr. Matt Hepburn, who is our reigning Entrepreneur of the Year and one of the 2 amazing founders of Your Mates. I bet you've already all liked that Facebook page, Your Mates Brewing. So just I'm going to start by just directing a quick question to Will Smart. Will, you said that you did your final year of school and we will open the floor up to Q&A as well. I'll just kick off with a couple of questions. You finished your final year at Emmanuel College. You went and did an apprenticeship in fitting, turning and welding. And then on your Facebook page, it tells me that you are made in Australia, but that you deliver globally. And did you buy Smartline? I mean, Smartline, do you all know what Smartline does? Okay, so did you buy an existing, were you a startup? How did you go from a fitter and turner from Emmanuel College to flying all over the world, meeting sheiks in Dubai, introducing them to, you know, world first medical technology?
Truthfully, I came back from a stint in China working for a company that was Sunshine Coast that sadly went belly up. I came back and the doors were closed on a Monday morning. I flew in on the Sunday night and the business had gone. It was a complete tragedy and a loss of a lot of sunshine.
You should have flown economy.
So I kicked off and decided, well, I'm going to have a crack on my own. And I started, honestly, with a $500 Visa card and my apprenticeship toolbox.
You know, similar though, Kendall, you had a career change from teacher and then went into aged care. So how did that happen?
So it took me a long time to figure out what I wanted to do because I actually went from teaching to accounting into aged care, and I was lucky enough to be one of those people who then had found out exactly where they were meant to be. And there's a huge difference between going to work every day and just doing a job and being in a position where you can't wait to get to work every day, and it just changes your whole life. So that's how I ended up here, and Home Care Assistance started almost 2 years ago now.
Almost 2 years ago. Can you just give us an overview? How many staff have you got now?
Around 50 now.
In 2 years?
Yes.
Okay, and you've tapped into mentoring programs. You've used some of the foundation here for small business growth on the Sunshine Coast to do what you are now doing?
Absolutely. So when I first started Home Care Assistance, I was, going to events like this and, not really sure if I even had a business. And the warmth and generosity of the Sunshine Coast business community and sharing their knowledge and welcoming this brand new person along was just incredible. So we do a lot of networking and, just use those support networks around the coast, and events like this are fabulous for that.
Well, I just know we've all got to introduce ourselves to you because at some point we are 100% of your future clientele.
That's right.
Must be nice to Kendall, lady in blue dress, mental note. The next person along this esteemed panel of speakers this morning is Will Shrapnel. So for those of you that were blessed enough to be at the Caloundra Chamber of Commerce, was it the very first after hours networking event at the start of the year? Helimods opened up their humongous, hangar out at the Caloundra Airport to all of us, welcomed nearly the same amount of people. And Will gave us very generously his time that night, took us for a tour of his premises. And if you ever get the opportunity to do that again, I highly, highly recommend it. And then we went, oh, what are you doing tomorrow? We're dropping off kids. We're going to bake a chocolate slice. I'm flying to Canada to talk to a defence minister over there. And now I hear yesterday on the Caloundra grapevine, how possibly wrong could it be, that you have opened up an office in Canada. Is that correct?
Yeah, we've got a Vancouver office there now. It's a remote office, and that's why I'm walking with a little bit of a limp. Actually, the Whistler season was a bit tough this year out. So second day out of crutches, from a knee reconstruction. So there are, like, surfing is a lot less hazardous than the mountainous terrain.
And Will, just walk us through why have you done that? What are you hoping to achieve having done that? Because I can't imagine that's a cheap thing to do, a remote office.
So out of Vancouver, I mean, they talk there really about the life-work balance specifically. They've really got some like-minded sort of priorities out of there. It's a bigger city than the coast, but there's a lot in common. And it's a great base for us to access North America. So, yeah.
So is that the aim? The primary aim is to access North America, and what specifically the defence contracts that are coming out of North America?
In civil and defence, but it's with direct flights now out of Brisbane. It's a great opportunity, and we see a lot of talent there as well in Vancouver, like-minded people that we can bring out here to the coast, and also our guys like to get out to Vancouver when they can as well.
Interestingly, at the event at Helimods earlier in the year, Will had said that Helimods had advertised on, was it Seek? Was it two
we had
engineers?
Some graduate engineering roles. We had over 2,000 applications. So
2,000 applications. Have you met Michelle Faulkner? Where is she? Michelle Faulkner, you got to introduce yourself to this man.
So there's some amazing talent that's wanting to move to the coast. So globally, like we've got a global team at Caloundra now that's really sought us out from all over the world. So we're really encouraging a lot of sort of diversity and growth in our team there. It's awesome to see.
And Will, do they drink beer?
Yeah, well, they do actually. We're plumbed in. If you saw our upstairs mezzanine, which I'm not sure we opened up for the chamber event, but we're actually plumbed in. Yeah, so Matt would like it a lot.
So our next speaker, just before we open up to questions on the floor, did any of you watch Shark Tank? So Channel 10, not last Thursday, was it the Thursday before? Tuesday, sorry. Not last Tuesday, the Tuesday before. Anyone tune into Shark Tank? Okay, how exciting was it? I even made my boys watch it. And there were these two guys that were standing there and they were pitching their idea to the sharks, on how they could leverage what they'd built and scale it up to create beer that is unrivaled in the world for the rest of everyone to enjoy. And they did get an offer, but smartly they refused it. Any particular reason why, Maddie Hepburn, you did that?
I think anyone who owns a business understands they don't do it to end up working for someone else. Like anyone who opens a business on the Sunshine Coast, it's a lifestyle choice. And 4 years ago, we made the decision to start our own business and put our balls on the line. And we didn't do that to, I guess, have someone directing our company, because we have our own values and our own beliefs, and we have our own goals that we want to achieve, and we just didn't really think that would align with the Sharks, their mentalities and how they run business. So it was a tough choice. It was a really tough decision. Obviously, we had a number that we discussed going in, and unfortunately for them, that we just didn't see eye to eye.
No, we watched it though. At the end of it, we went, something will happen. Someone will come along. What has the 2 weeks subsequent to that kind of exposure been like for you?
It's been amazing. For us, looking back 3 years ago to where we are now, it's just unbelievable. So, we did a crowdfunding campaign last year through the Grow Coastal program, through the Innovation Centre. So we needed to get our beer in a can. So it's a really expensive, it's an expensive industry to get into. And we raised $32,000.
In how long?
That was in 4 weeks. So that was from the Sunshine Coast region. That's the highest raise for any beer company in Australia. So massive support from the Sunshine Coast. It's been amazing. And it's really a credit to, the people, just the everyday guys, men and women in the business industries, and just, the mums and dads out there who really want to support local business. And, I think there's a really, the kind of the underdog mentality here that people want to push for and really see the coast and the area shine. So it's been great.
So we've got Smartline machinery, home care assistants, Helimods, and Your Mates Brewing. Now they are diverse, they are dynamic, they are innovative, and they are in front of you willing to take questions. So Mike Shadford has a microphone. If anyone has a question, please raise your hand. These people are here to share, here to help you grow as well. So anyone at all, questions from the audience?
Kim, the first questions come from our small business ambassador.
Yes, please.
Next thing I'll be the Duchess of Sussex or something, but I like him.
Oh, she's taken, love.
Duchess of Sunshine Coast. Okay, so...
Oh, she's taken too.
Okay, I always liked Baroness. Let's stick with that. Okay, so guys, absolutely fantastic stories. I've loved listening to you. One of the things I hear a lot from small businesses is how to access that information. And Will, you spoke about, it's two Wills, but the Will on the end. You spoke about the depth of that support that's around you, and all of you have alluded to that as well. But how did you go about finding that? How do you look for that information? And perhaps all of you have got some insight there.
It's a really interesting question, and as I was looking and making notes in my speech last night, I was exactly thinking about that topic. I think that sometimes when you enter some of these small business programs and some of the things that are on offer, they don't feel very exciting at the time. And that's no reflection on the value of those courses. Sometimes it's, and as a small business person, you don't know what you don't know. And so going along and starting and getting involved with some of these mentoring courses, some of these export courses, some of these learning courses, some of these recruitment ideas and management discussions, customer-centric Spark Bureau did a fantastic little host for some mentoring around customer-centric focus and thinking. And these are practical steps, and they don't feel very exciting at the time, but you build your networks. You learn that person that you can call up next time you've got a query. And it's a slow and steady. I don't think Rome was built in a day, and business is certainly not built in a day. People like will testify that this is just hard work. So building yourself up and actually participating, taking the time to take some time out of your business to work on yourself as a business leader and develop your networking skills and learning what you don't know is a really huge step. And I think that that's one of the things that we've done in our business for myself and some of my team members. Take a bit of time out, ask and get involved with what's local, and you'll be amazed that things just unfold.
Now, I'm up here at this end of the room, Kim, at the back, just to make sure that we can get questions from everybody that's here. So I've got a microphone. If anybody puts a hand up, I've got a hand, Amy, and the gentleman over here next. So, Amy, ask away.
Thanks, Bill. My question's for Kendall. I know that you're a superstar mum as well, so I hoped you could share perhaps the secret to a work-life balance.
There isn't one. Sorry, you said Kendall, not Kim. Oh, God. Kendall, shine some light on that subject.
I agree. So I think first and foremost, when you decide to enter into business, you need to find out what it is that drives you, and then from there you can define what success looks like to you. So once you've done that, you can work backwards and set goals. Now, my work-life balance is okay because I love going to work and then I love getting home. And for those of you who don't know, I've got 4 very small children. So it's an absolute circus, and there's no other way. And I think it's actually quite hard to be a woman in business. It's even harder to be a mother in business, or a parent, and it's even harder to be only 4'11". So I think you've really just got to continue to put yourself out there and grow in your confidence and make those networks. In terms of work-life balance, as far as I'm concerned, you've just got to make up your mind what you value, and you've got to let a lot of things go. And it's very difficult to get 4 children out the door with shoes on. So,
Kendall, I'm going to jump in because I'd really like to know, speaking of family, if Will share where he lives with his 6 children.
Yeah, I can get to that, Mike. Yeah, so I was going to jump on there anyway around... so I've got 6 young kids here on the coast, and I guess the life-work balance, or that sort of blended view, really. I mean, if you're doing what you love and what you really enjoy doing, I mean, they do blend together more so. That's really important. I guess that's one of the significant advantages in starting your own business. I mean, you can be doing what you love. So with getting onto the 6 kids thing, and Mike was prompting there, so, yeah, we're in a living arrangement or experiment at the moment at Dicky Beach Caravan Park.
Which he's upgraded to, by the way, from...
Yeah, so we were in 2 tents at Mooloolaba for around 3 months. So, and I know Tim's saying, is that within regulation? It is. It's a working holiday, Tim. It's quite okay. So yeah, provided we're not living...
Watch out, there's council offices everywhere, Will.
So I guess that's really about prioritisation, defining what's important to you and how you want to live. Trying to make business work for you like that. And we've got access to some of the great natural resources around the place. So really the focus on quality time as opposed to quantity time. I mean, you can sit and watch TV anywhere in the world, but on the coast, I mean, you can get out there, get amongst the mountains or the beach, and our commute times, it's really why it's so important we hold on to great infrastructure here as well. So
as a business community, we've always got Kim's house to crash at for a feed. So it's such just come on in. Bill, over to you.
My question is, not one of you has mentioned the value of your lawyer to your business. Was that deliberate? Paul Brennan solicitors, 4 children to support.
I apologise for that question in advance.
Any more questions?
Who's answering? No, we didn't answer. Can I ask another question?
I think, Matt, I've got a question for Matt. Just, obviously you would have been better on radio, mate. We all know that. But what really inspired you to have a crack at this? I know that, stepping into the Innovation Centre for the first time wasn't something that you thought was going to be the way forward for a beer company, 2 dudes running a brewery in the back of Caloundra. Where did you get that sort of insight from?
Well, I grew a beard, so taking the leaf out of I notice your fine-looking beard. I was in the semi-corporate life. I was a construction project manager on the coast, which is a great place to be in construction. And I had a taste of that world, and I loved it. I loved building things, I loved creating things and working on big projects. But I didn't like the way people got treated along the way. And I always knew there was always a future for that. But me at the time, I was 24 years old, and I thought I think there's something a little bit better that I can do with my time. So I didn't have any children at the time. I didn't have any house mortgages. So I thought, pretty naively, how hard can it be to get into the world of running your own business and opening a brewery? And 4 or 5 years later, this is where we are. And fortunate enough, it's working. And bigger goals to achieve.
You tapped into that network at the Innovation Centre. Was that good for you? Was that a good learning curve?
It was. I was a skeptic of networking. I was always focused on my business, kind of, keep my goal in vision. But I didn't have my peripherals on. And as soon as I got introduced to the Innovation Centre, I was like, what is this program? Like, I'm too busy for this. I don't have time. It's a day a week. And I actually got not pressured, but it was from the guy who owns Sunshine Coast Beer Tours, and he said, look, this is, I'm running a beer tour as part of this. It sounds like a good program. And funny enough, I went along and was a part of it. I've never looked back. I've been introduced to some amazing people, some amazing mentors. Mark Pattenberg from the Grow Coastal program and the Innovation Centre had some great, you know a lot about your business, and that's where the skills, you think you know everything. And although no one does know everything, it's always good to look outside of the box and learn a little bit about, some lawyers and some, having good tricks up your sleeves. So that was really valuable for me.
Is there any more questions? Because I'll keep firing.
Yes.
Oh, here you go. Terrific. Thanks. Oh, nice trip, Marie. Was that did you do that on purpose? No. Please stand up. Big round of applause for Anne, everyone.
Hi. I've just got a question for Matt. Would you crowdfund again?
It has been an option. Equity crowdfunding's obviously been legalised in Australia, so we have been tossing up with that, but it hasn't really been executed properly to the state where we'd be comfortable to get, the public on board, kind of be the test dummy company in Australia. So it is definitely an option. It is a lot of hard work. Anyone who thinks they can raise $30,000 or higher or lower is just off a whim is, it does take a lot of work, but I think it's really, it's a great tool to boost businesses that don't have a lot of capital in the bank, and it's a great way to get your brand out there or your product out there to consumers that can connect with it and have that, connection to invest their money into something that they believe in. So it's something that we will, are thinking about doing in the future. We're looking at we'll be taking on some silent partners for our next step. But I think there's a great, it's happening in New Zealand and the UK and in America a lot at the moment. I think there's some great traction for companies in Australia to take on the equity crowdfund approach.
Thanks, Matt. Hey, we're just going to probably wrap it up with one question to you all. Will, Shrapnel and I talk a lot about talent attraction to the Sunshine Coast. To grow a great business, you need that one, or you need a great team, and you've all mentioned the importance of those sorts of things. Could you just, in a very short couple of sentences, tell people what you think is the biggest advantage of being on the Sunshine Coast, either as an employee or a startup or in a business? What have we got to offer that next entrepreneur?
I think it's the escape. We've got Fraser Island, Morton Island, Double Island. If you ever want to take someone on a trip around and show the natural highlights, you don't have to go too far.
On the coast here, and probably just quickly on Small Business Week, remembering that a number of years ago we were absolutely a small business, and one of the fun things about small business is turning it into a large business. So on the coast here, talent attraction, and as Will said there, that's just key to growth of your business. Really, a broader view. We need to import more of that to the coast. We need more diversity and complexity in our economy, and so we need different perspectives and views from all around the world where that's been done well. So that's what we're seeking out. And on the coast here, it's not that hard to get people out to here to enjoy more of what we enjoy. We do have to focus on the quality there, so the quality of people and then the quality of the work that we're offering up. So yeah, amazing opportunity here on the coast.
I can't even remember what your question was.
Attracting people to the coast.
Oh, look, I think there's just so much opportunity going on around the coast right now. There's still hundreds of people moving here all the time. There's nowhere else most of us would ever want to live anyway. And, as long as we continue to be really proud of this and put a lot back into our communities, I think the future's looking really bright and there's nowhere else we'd want to be.
I absolutely agree with that. There is nowhere else I'd want to be. I did mention earlier 48 flights in about 6 weeks. I went all over the world and came home. Look where we live. Pinch ourselves. It's amazing.
Wow, thank you. So on behalf of all of us, you are 4 inspiring people. We look forward to being part of your journey going forward. I just think your point, Will Shrapnel, a couple of years ago, he was sitting in here as a small business, and look, the transition from small to large, it is real, it is achievable, we can do it. And when we tap into the resources, that the bodies around our region offer, we're not there alone. We are there, we've got support, which is amazing. So would you all please join me in thanking our 4 winners of the 2017 Sunshine Coast Business Awards.